What's going on, guys? We're going to be pulling the head on the Civic today. If you've seen in my last videos, I said the car had started smoking slightly on deceleration. I pulled the turbo off thinking it was the turbo seals. There's no indication on the turbo that it was leaking, so I pulled the manifold off, and the last valve seal on the exhaust side happened to be leaking. So we got to get the head pulled off and change on the valve seals. I got to get the coolant drained out so we can get the head off without leaking coolant everywhere, and then we can start working on everything to pull the head off. So we'll go ahead and drain that coolant. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, go ahead and click that so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Alright guys, we got all the coolant drained out, so we can just connect the hoses without dropping coolant everywhere. There will be some that drops when we pull the head off, but we've got majority of it out the system. So now I'm going to get y'all set up and we're going to start pulling everything on the head to get it removed. So let me set y'all up. Alright guys, we got everything disconnected. Everything that's got to come detached from the head, wires, hoses, everything's detached. So now we're going to start pulling the valve cover, getting everything off to pull the head off. Alright guys, we got the cams out. Found a little bit of bad news. If you look at the rockers, you can see how they're ate up from them aggressive cams that are in this car. They're GSCT1 cams. I know you're supposed to use the hydraulic lost motion springs, which is the stock ones, but these have SuperTech ones in there, and I think that's what did it. A couple spots on the cams look kind of rough. Not too bad, but still gonna use them. I mean, the car still made a lot of power with those cams. I don't know how long they've been like that, but my buddy's got another VTEC head. I'm gonna get the lost motion springs out of those, the stock ones, and I'm gonna change all these rockers out. But let's finish pulling the head off. Alright guys, we got the head pulled off. As you can see, this block does have the CSS, cylinder support system. The ARP studs, just the standard ones. Head. So we gotta get all these rockers out. We gotta replace those no matter what. But we also gotta get the tool, get all these valve springs out, so we can change them seals. I gotta go ahead and get the intake manifold off, so let me do that, and I'll pick the camera right back up. Alright guys, we got the intake manifold taken off. See, the head's real clean. Intake manifold's over here. It is just the blocks, aftermarket intake. I do need to take them injectors off and seal them up in a bag so they don't corrode with the E85, because the car is running on ethanol. So I'm gonna start by taking all these out, all the rockers, because they gotta come out anyway, because those for sure have to be changed. And I gotta get rid of these lost motion springs. Those just pop right out. And then we gotta get the tool. We're gonna get all the valve springs removed so we can replace all the seals. So we're gonna do that right now. I'm gonna start with taking off those Allen key bolts on the side so we can get all the rockers out, and then we can get all the valves out.
Nope, no clip. Nope, thought we had a clip. Nope, okay.
Alright guys, I got all the rocker arms out. You gotta pull these rods out right here to get those out. And there's a plug on the side where the VTEC solenoid is. You gotta take that out. This one don't have one, you can just push it through. And then right here, it's got two more plugs you gotta take out to get those rods out. Right now I'm gonna take all these valve springs out. To do that, all you wanna do is stick like a rag under the head in the valves so that they don't push down. And you stick a socket with an extension on there. You set it on there like that, and you just hit it real hard with the hammer, and they'll pop loose. Those keepers will come out. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do that. Alright guys, and all you wanna do, like I said, stick a rag under the head, put the the socket on it, you just hit it with the hammer. Valve's moving. You gotta make sure that rag is under there. There you go. It'll pop out, and then you just pull the springs out, just like that. You just pull the springs out, like so. Keep them in order. I gotta find where that retainer just went. It's in the spark plug hole. I gotta tip the head over for that. I'll get that one in a second. And you just want to take a magnet and pick up your keepers. You don't want to lose those keepers, because that's how you're going to put the springs back on. Alright guys, we got the all the valves out, all the springs or retainers. So it's just a bare head pretty much with just the valve seals in there. We already got 3 of them out right there. What you want to do to get the valve seals out is heat them up with a torch. Not too much, just a little bit to get them to expand just a little bit. And then you just take a pair of pliers, channel locks, whatever. And you want to grab it and just pull on it and they'll pop right out. So I'm going to go ahead and heat these ones up and pull all those out, and I'll pick the camera back up whenever I got all that done. Alright guys, I got all the valve seals out. I just gotta get the head cleaned up. All the valve seals are out. So this is just a bare VTEC head. We don't have nothing in it right now. So I'm gonna just brake clean, get all the debris out of there from the valve seals that I took out. And after that's cleaned up, I'm gonna clean up the valves, try to get some of that carbon off a little bit, and we're gonna stick the valves back in. I do got the brand new valve seals to put back in here, so we'll go ahead and clean all this up, and I'll pick the camera back up. Alright guys, we're getting started on putting the valves back in. I am using this stuff right here. We're gonna just grind the valves down, lap them again. Just makes a new finished surface on there, just so it helps it seal a little bit better. I did these ones, I did those ones, I just got done doing these ones, so I'm gonna get started on these ones. Then I'm gonna move to the intake side, but we'll do all that and then we'll get the new valve seals in and start getting this thing back together. I got another head. I do have another head so I can get the new rockers on. My buddy's giving me parts out of his head. He's got a B-Series VTEC head, so I will be getting those, and hopefully we'll have this thing back together soon. Alright guys, we're about done with lapping the valves. I'm on the last 2 right here on the intake side. I was going to mention how you want to do this. If you got to do it, you can get this at the part store. That's what it's called right there, valve grinding compound. You just put some on the valve right around here. You can see how all those got fresh seats on them. You want to put the compound around there, and you take a hose and you can stick the end of the valve in, and you push it through, and you slide that hose onto the end of this, and you just spin it and push and release on it until you do it for about 10-15 seconds, and then it should have a new seat. But let me finish those 2 up. We are gonna have to finish this tomorrow. We got some rain coming, and I'm gonna cover all this stuff up. So I gotta cover all the cylinders up. As you know, the block, it does have CSS in it. You can't go wrong with the CSS. It really does support cylinders. You just can't go wrong with it. For the price, as an alternative for sleeves, you just can't go wrong with it. So I'll be back with y'all tomorrow. We will finish this up. I gotta go get my buddy's head and take all the rockers out so we can get this head back together, and hopefully we'll have it back together by tomorrow.